Alright, guys, it's been a minute since I've done a Ramblings of an Appalachian Granny Woman segment. And I want to be raw with everyone. And sometimes you have to process things first before you can really talk about them. Sometimes you're in healing and you're aware you're in healing in certain situations because it's tests, it's lessons. So, the last time I left off, I'm sure I was talking about some of my experiences that led me into who I am today. But I'm going to jump into who I am today in the present and how my mind works because it's very, I guess, in a way, and what I've learned about myself because I've never really been in the position to be in solitude before until the last, I'd say, almost 2 years. And I've had solitude for the rest of my life within that time period, and then I continued to have it in other ways. Now it's definitely, I choose my solitude, and I make sure that my energy field is not chaotic. And when you're first getting used to being somewhere new again, then you have to learn that energy and clear energy around you and figure out if that's where you need to be at that moment. See, we don't do that as humans. Like, we don't. And we should. We should. Because the more you're aware, the more you're like, I can't keep putting myself through this anymore because it's chaotic. And, our systems are all telling. It's like we have this energy field around us. So every time we're triggered or we're always triggered, but we're not seeing them as triggers. We're just seeing them as it's something that's coming from the inside. And yes, that's true. Half of maybe some of it's the inside. It's a good portion, give and take, depending on what the situation is. Let me just put it that way. But you have to become aware of your energy and others' energies. Because for me, I tend to be this open vessel of love and just open. And I've really worked on myself. I've overcome insecurities. I've overcame just thought processes that I had previously years ago. I healed things within me that I saw that was in others. And that's what it's supposed to be about. You're supposed to be self-aware, right? What comes along with that self-awareness is you're aware of other people's energies, and it's intense, and it becomes more and more intense. So you do not allow yourself to be where your energy is not on the same level anymore, because initially what you're doing when you're healing yourself is you're growing. It's growth. So we tend to vibrate out of um, even family settings, friends, new friends, like old friends become old friends. And most of us has been through this, has done this, have, you can, look back on your friend groups and see, oh, okay, it was this many years apart, and then, oh, I'm getting better at this. Because what it is not everybody is supposed to be in each other's energy like that if it's not setting right, if it's not, if it's making you nervous, if it's making you whatever, it needs to be communicated, and the resolution needs to be made, or to just move away from that. You got to have boundaries, right? That's what boundaries are. So being in solitude really is amazing, and it could be so. Um, it, for me, I'm a balancer. I'm a Libra, so I love my solitude, but I also love being around people, just the right energy people, and that's rare. And for people like us, for someone like me, who has really tapped into this knowing and understanding of the world, and has all these thought processes, and this is where this is going, has all these thoughts in my mind that I can't. Like, guys, this is stuff like I don't read. I mean, at one time I got into a little mommy porn series because it was just, I loved it. But, and I might have read Twilight, okay? Um, and then, here and there, but I can. I'm not going to say I can't because Spirit's going to smoke me for that, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but, but I can't, shit. I forgot where I was going with that. Mommy porn. See, it got me distracted. I got to work on my sacral a little bit. But anyway, what I was getting at with that whole thing is that I have so much here and so much knowledge and understanding. Guys, like my whole life, I have been a very innocent, kind person. And I say innocent, not in the aspect of like your religion, but innocent and pure and authentic, you know. And I've stepped. I acknowledge myself. I acknowledge the beautiful things about myself. I could sit and tell you all the shit things that I thought about myself before, but or things that, how I reacted, or just very human behaviors that I just outgrew very quickly. And I've always been an Otso. I've always been the little girl who people pleased and um, was just around a lot of older people and also special needs people and animals. And just it's just I can communicate with everything. And it's amazing because it's communication. People think of words, and it's not always words, it's feelings. So them feelings they don't have a language, or I mean it doesn't have it doesn't have writing, it doesn't have a text to it. It's a feeling, and it's automatically imprinted into you to know. So it's crazy to me because I've talked about the insecurities of growing up in the Appalachian Mountains and coming from family that um, we wasn't academically focused because my parents struggled in school. And my dad graduated, my mom dropped out in 10th grade, but they're very intelligent people, but not by the standards of what society says. See, and so I had to heal that aspect of myself. And guys, I don't have a degree. I do not have a certificate. I have fought that for years, fought it in my head because I would go to Spirit and go, well, is this something that maybe? And Spirit's like, no. Like every time you feel that in you, you feel that feeling that says no deep in you, because you can't put a certification on what I do because it would label me. It would put me with a set of standards that I don't really believe in. Um, you know what I'm saying? So I've never been certified in anything. Everything that I offer is channeled. It's all very self-taught, very setting with spirit and just going through it. So this is the hard knocks of spirituality. And the big thing about this is that we end up in solitude because mostly there's no one who truly understands you, and it sucks. And I'm so grateful to be in this time because there's so many more of us that are awake and finding each other. And that's the important part, is finding each other, because you talking about lonely, when you have some deep thoughts and philosophies, and which some people call it philosophies, but just being able to sit with people who you don't even know or knew you share experiences with. And it's amazing to see this because it's bigger than just you. And it's going back to my experiences I've talked about on this series, is that little girl, that girl that was scared because I always wished for stuff to happen to me, guys. Since I was a little girl, I wanted to be magical. And then what Spirit, the universe said was, honey, you was magical all along. You just didn't believe you were. So I've overcome self-doubt. I still have to overcome self-doubt. There's things that I'm working on. There's things I'm healing. But I tell you, my connection with the divine is great. And the more that you become aligned with yourself, and this is what I teach people. I sit down with you, I'll roll a joint and let you smoke it with me, and we can talk about life. That's all I do. And I know exactly where to go and what to hit on. And that is why I do what I do. It's my calling. It's my purpose. It is, it's something that schooling can't teach you. It's something that, yeah, is just divinely guided, very divinely guided. But again, there's a price there. And it is that you do not ever settle for energies in your field that are less than yours. And I don't mean that in an ego way. I mean that in a relationship, friendships. You can't have people who are in your inner circle who are trying to compete with you, who are just there for the ride, there to drag you down, whatever the case may be, guys. You have to understand you warriors sit with warriors. And in that aspect, you have to think of that in your relationships. And you have to think about that your energy that you're going to give in a partner, okay, a partner should be just as equal. And that's what it's about right there. And that's hard to find. It's not as hard, like I said, it's not as hard as it used to be. Because there's been people awakening for years, guys. There's been people, and like the research goes back. I met great minds in this world, inventors in this world. Um, so many great people who have really been the ones to blaze the trail. And it might have been, I don't know, man. It amazes me about the knowledge that we have and have access to. And it amazes me how intelligent that people truly are, but they just can't remember who they are. And so on this journey, I remembered who I was, and I know who I am. And I see other people, I see souls, I see possibilities in people, and then I had to learn in friendships and relationships is that I see possibilities, and y'all, I'm the biggest cheerleader that you'll ever have on your side because I want people to see their possibilities, and you can't always stay for those possibilities, guys. It's not okay. It's never okay to wait for someone. You cannot do something for someone that they need to do on their own on their soul healing journey. It's not there. So again, going back to solitude. Now you get where I'm going with this. I have a lot of deep thoughts. I have a hard time processing them a lot. Plant medicine helps with that a lot. Um, like I said, ever since I overcome, guys, you are capable of way more than you know. You are capable of self healing like no other. The truth is, you don't really need a therapist. You need to listen to yourself. You need to acknowledge yourself because no therapist is going to get through to you until you get through to yourself. Self healing. It is taking responsibility for your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. And no therapist can make you do that. But a granny woman sure in the hell can. Don't get it twisted now. Um, I'm just saying that because you got to be willing to put in the work for this. It's not a secret potion you take or drink or going to these $1 million retreats or taking anything, like even plant medicine. Like if you're taking plant medicine to make you, it is going to aid you. It is really going to aid you on your journey. Do not get me wrong, but don't do it and don't go in not expecting your life to completely change because it could. And some people are not ready for this journey um, until they get their mind right. And that's why we're here. And that's why I'm here is to let people understand that, yes, we were very much so ignorant humans that were lied to because there is people that know this information. I'm not the only one. And it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's crazy in a good way, but it's also crazy because a lot of us, what I'm seeing is people awakening, and they are losing their shit. They're losing their shit because of fear, guys. So that's another one. If you are coming into the spiritual path, overcome your fear. Overcome your fear of everything. And that's layers upon layers of discovering yourself. So acknowledge yourself, self discovery. And Acknowledgement. Oh, guys, that's what healing is acknowledgement. You know that, right? So as soon as you get it in your mind, you're like, oh, I do this because so, is this generational? Is this societal? And then as soon as you catch yourself, there it is. So it's like a self discipline, all of it together, eating habits, everything. And I know the struggle because obviously I'm sitting here talking about eating habits and I'm a chunk of dunk and I know it. But I love my body. Guys, I have made so much progress in my health journey, with my mind, with my freaking mind, because I have been a very active person, but also my mind still. I'm working with my mind and my body and how to keep myself in my routines and if not letting little things get in the way. And this past time it was my knee, but it makes you feel I'm a pusher when it comes to myself. I'm a self motivator. So I'm like, oh, my knee. But yeah, my knee's been bummed for a week or well, about 2 weeks. So I haven't got to walk in a week, and I was beating myself up about it. You can't always be. That's not how you make things happen. It's not by hating your body. It's not by looking in the mirror and being disgusted at yourself. It's quite the opposite. It's falling in love with your body. No matter what weight you are, no matter no matter if you're small, big, whatever, guys, if you have an issue with your body, that is an issue, right? So start loving yourself. And when you start loving yourself, you start choosing yourself. And then you're self-aware, you're self conscious. And not self-conscious in a bad way, but conscious of yourself. There we go. Um, and then you just change your life. Your mind changes. Instead of being a victim, you become the champion. And it's in your world. And you're competing with nobody but yourself. Just being a better version of yourself over and over. This life has been crazy the last 2 years. But I can tell you that I'm not the same person that I was 2 years ago. And I'm definitely not the same person that I was a year ago. I'm not the same person I was even a month ago. Every time that you choose yourself, you shift your reality. You do. Because you're like, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. And the matrix kind of, and the way that people put it, like physical matrix or, just don't overthink it, guys. Do not overthinking it. Overthinking it. Just, this is ways for us to explain things to people to help them understand. Not make them, but help them understand. It's the matrix and overcoming and understanding that is just all in your mind. It is all in your mind. And it's things that you can retrain yourself to think differently. I promise you can. So start loving yourself. It starts with that. It really does. All right. This is the ramblings of an Appalachian Granny Woman. I love you guys. Yeah, if you want to come over on my Facebook, I go live every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's Healing with Holly. I give away readings, and you get some of my ramblings. I love you, Mother Cluckers, and thank you for following along. And yeah, I've been kind of MIA for a little bit, but it's healing. That's what it is. It's not been sad. It's not been mad. It's just been me giving my energy back to me. And that's what solitude's about too, is giving your energy back to you. So, love you, Mother Cluckers.